is going to feature page turning, reading, and whispering. Well, reading while whispering, I suppose I should say. And I'm going to have a look at this small booklet from Baptist World Aid of Better World Gifts. Give a gift to end poverty. So yeah, I know I've done these little books before. I feel that I might have done it twice before. I haven't really looked up to see, or at least once, or maybe twice. I think it's twice. Anyway, so I get usually most in the lead up to Christmas. Then I get one of these booklets in the mail. So I'm making this video on the, I think today is Sunday the 16th of November, and I'm going to release it next Saturday morning Sydney time, which would probably be the 22nd of November. So okay, so yeah, so yeah, they have some there's some interesting little gifts that I'll go through. I'll go through page by page, but to understand how it works, I think it's oh yeah, just so you know, if you've never seen one of these before, you go and say, oh well, you want to buy the Food for Life for $75, and that's what you pay for, and then they can either post out a gift card if they receive it, post out a gift card to yourself by the 10th of December, and no needs for cards for donation only. And you can, if you want to, pop that in as a gift for somebody. So I know in the past I've given, maybe a goat, maybe a pig, and maybe a chicken to somebody as a bit of, a fun way to, a fun sort of, something fun like, along with their other gift as well. And obviously these are tax deductible, they are tax deductible, so you can give them to them as well. And then there's a little bit down the bottom where you fill in your details and your credit card and all that kind of stuff. Post it away. I'm pretty sure you can just go online and onto their website and do it as well. And I know that many other charities do these little gift cards as well. So you can, if you want to, you could do the Baptist one if you wanted to. If you're in Australia, I suppose, or you could find your local charity and do the gifts there if you wanted to, or you can just have some fun, or hopefully relaxing time listening to me go through this little booklet. Okay, here we go. How do I order a Better World gift? Choose your Better World gift: bees, a chicken, or blanket. And read the description. Select how you want them delivered, either as a gift card, which they'll post out, and then complete your order and payment. into maybe having a bowl of cereal for breakfast. Or it might be cereal. Some sort of breakfast food. Schools in places like Uganda provide a midday meal for students, but many rural schools don't have the resources to do so. Our partners' projects have developed schools, established gardens that provide produce for midday meals and give students the opportunity to learn about good agricultural practices. Yes, you can give $5 for hand soap. Soapy suds for survival. Teach someone how to wash their hands is a skill for life, quite literally. Your Better World gift of hand soap improves health and reduces disease through community education. It's interesting really that things that you kind of take for granted, well, having soap and knowing how to wash your hands and having running water, it's something that you take for granted, but it's not always available to people in third world countries. $10 for stopping malaria in vulnerable communities. Mosquitoes are more than just annoying insects. They're a threat to life. Your Better World gift teaches families how to protect themselves from the spread of disease. So in the past, I've been to a couple of malaria countries that could have malaria. I've been to South Africa and also to Vanuatu, and I'm a regular blood donor twice a year. Blood donor at the Red Cross Blood Bank, and then once I visited one of those at-risk countries, and I've got to wait for months before I can donate after coming back, and they take a few extra vials of blood to test test me for malaria once I've come back. So the first time they did it, I asked them and they said, yeah, they didn't really know the nurse that's taking it, but they don't know for sure, but they said he or she, I can't remember. Just trying to think now. I'm going to say he. It wasn't he actually. He said that'd probably be right. That's why we're taking. He just on the list it just said you had to take six vials, and then they test you. So it's good in a way because then you know. I know that I haven't. They test for other things as well. So I haven't. Got any of those. They screen you for them, so if there's any problem they'll let you know, I suppose. That's what I should say. In poverty, trees. Okay, what the trees are about. Seeing the forest for the trees. Oh yeah. Trees play an important role in every environment. Forests improve our health, help prevent soil erosion and major flooding, create shade and fodder for animals. The $10 for the trees helps plant trees so their families and livestock can thrive. $15 for arts and crafts, because every child deserves to play. Play is essential to a child's social So I put them outside for a few days and just let everything kind of air. Put them out in the sun. Because, yes, it's quite overbearing with the print. Okay, $15 colouring in card version available. Okay, $15 for a blanket. Keep someone warm and snuggly. Many families fleeing contact live in temporary shelters that let in rain, wind and snow. Oh, your Better World gift provides a blanket and other items that protect a person from cold and illness. Help turn drafty tents into much cozier homes. That's a good idea. In the cooler months in Australia, the winter months, when it might only be 6 degrees, 8 degrees outside Celsius, then sometimes at night I'll have the fire going, but it's good to have a little blanket, a little granny rug to put over my knees to keep me warm. So if you feel warm, you feel cozy, you do feel kind of happy inside, and there's nothing worse than when you feel cold and you can't get warm. Anyway, $15 for a disaster toolkit. Food, water and shelter are our basic needs. Let's push that over to the right a bit. And the first to be threatened when disaster strikes, preparing for a disaster and rebuilding afterwards always requires the right tools. In poverty, here's one of my favourites. Chicken. Colouring in card version available for $20 for a chicken. I wonder how much to buy a chicken in Australia costs. I don't know. When I was a kid, we'd buy all my parents would. We had a few chickens in the backyard, and there was a hatchery, and we'd go up and we just initially buy the point of lay birds. But they always had their little bit of the top of their beak cut off, so and they weren't never really quite as good as scratching around the garden. So then we worked out to buy the ones that were 6 weeks old, because they didn't, these are laying hens 6 weeks old. Well, they don't lay till they're probably 6 months. That, having the 6 weeks old, they didn't need to be kept warm at night or anything, so they had enough feathers to keep them warm, and they'd have their full beak so they could, dig around, scratch around the yard and enjoy themselves with digging in the grass and picking for grubs and things. There's a really good, we used to get this sort of a crossbred thing, bird, chicken, but now, lately, the last, 10 years or more, there's a breed called Isa Brown, I-S-A, and then brown as a separate word. They're a nice brown bird that lays a brown egg, shelled egg, brown shelled egg. So they're very prolific birds, so everybody seems to have them who have backyard chickens. Okay, so what was I doing? $20 for a chicken. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Your Better World gift gives families struggling to feed their children the opportunity and know-how to raise chickens, from filling hungry bellies with nutritious eggs to breeding and producing organic fertilizer. The humble chook can rapidly increase incomes and help whole families overcome poverty. It's amazing. It's $1.06 a week or something. Here's a bit more about the chicken. Mrs. Leo's traditional chicken raising techniques were all she knew before meeting our partner in Cambodia. She struggled to see her livestock multiply, which made it difficult to put food on the table, provide her children with an education, and save for the future. Mrs. Lau's prospects changed when she became involved in our partner project. She was invited to learn more effective techniques for raising chickens, and she joined the farmer producer group. She hopes this will give her opportunities to increase her chickens and sell them at a stable price as her business expands. Yeah. Okay. Oh, the veggie patch. It's got $20 for a veggie patch. When I think I might have given this one too, because you may know, and I have mentioned it a few times. I've got a big veggie garden at the moment. Got a lot of stuff in for spring. Tomatoes, capsicum, eggplant, cucumbers, and zucchini. Zucchinis are just coming in now, so I've picked 2 zucchini so far. Veggie patch. When green thumbs mean happy tums. When a family grows their own food, they can beat malnutrition, grow strong and healthy, and thrive. Your Better World gift keeps on giving every time a hungry child receives a meal. Bees for $40, okay. Beginning a new hive of activity. From nutritious honey, there's a little picture of a bee up there too. From nutritious honey, beeswax, and health products to crop pollination and spitting hives to sell. The possibilities in the bee hive business are never ending. My dad had a bee hives when I was a boy. He always would get me out and help him with these hives, which actually meant that I was the one sort of in the front line, so the bees got a bit aggressive. That was me that was getting stung. We'd have the veil on our face, but it's usually your hands that, I don't know, we didn't really have good gloves that were effective to keep the bees out of your hands. I think today they probably have more of a skin tight glove. But anyway, I always reckoned that for every one bee sting my dad got, I got about 10, I think. That was just how it went. Oh, a goat. Okay, here we go. The next page is a goat. $40 for a goat. His gift is the goat. Greatest of all times. Goat. Fresh milk isn't the only reason a child loves a goat. These curious creatures, mean, powerful, changeable, struggling families. Okay, your Better World gift provides a family with livestock training. Okay, the next one is a pig for $50. Just wait. Oh no, I'm over halfway. I thought I was at halfway then, but halfway must have been. Oh, halfway was there at the chicken. Okay. Oh. I actually just had a bit of a break outside. It's getting a little bit warm here in my booth, so I went out and had a drink of water and turned on my little fan for a bit, but I'll edit all that out so it seems seamless. Okay, $50 for a piglet. These little pigs, the difference that one pig can make for a family. Thought that was going to be a joke then, but do you know? The sale of a pig can mean everything from clothes on your back to school for your children. Your Better World gift means training in pig breeding for parents. Talk about necessity of clean water is the same the world over. Your better world gift makes a difference every time a parent pours a child water that won't make them sick, thanks to taps, filters and water pumps for whole communities. Okay, there's a story about this side about Rita and John. In their village in the Solomon Islands, there was no clean water, taps, toilets or showers. People were often sick with malaria. Okay, our partner helped the community install pipes from the dam to provide better access to clean water. Together they built showers and toilets, cleared the rubbish and took measures to prevent mosquitoes from breeding. That's a good idea. What to do with this? Well, there might be a number of those clean water gifts, but it's really kind of important. If people are sick all the time, on and off, then they can't be out working, looking after livestock, working in the gardens or taking on paid employment. A lot of actually those people from the islands, probably Solomon Islands as well, Fiji, Samoa, Tonga, Vanuatu, New Caledonia. I'm assuming that it's all those islands. They come over to Australia to work for 6 months, 12 months. They do a lot of farm work, picking fruit, working on farms, sort of jobs that's hard work, things that well, if you're an Australian, then you're able to get for the most part, you're able to get a job that's a lot easier, probably closer to home, and pays better. So we it's sort of a win-win, I suppose. It's a win for Australia and for the farmers. It's a win for these people living in poverty in the islands. They get a chance to come over and come work in Australia. Hopefully send their money home and use it to get themselves going in get them going at home, which is really good. So anyway, there's opportunities for those people anyway in Australia. But I think a lot of these are aimed at maybe, I don't really know, probably Africa, people in poverty in Africa, and also perhaps in the subcontinent as well. I'm just assuming, so I don't really know. $60 for safe birth, healthy arrivals for the tiny bundles of joy. Any birth anywhere in the world should mean a healthy delivery, happy baby and pure joy. Your better world gift means a safe birth for new mums, gently guided by village health assistants and trained birth attendants. It also teaches expectant mums how to care for pups. $100 for child-friendly spaces, building blocks for better futures. Every child deserves to feel safe and learn. Your better world gift helps create spaces for children to learn their rights and develop their skills and passion. So you can see from these gifts, there's ones that help immediately with food, chickens, pigs, goats, but there's also ones that are, putting in things for the future, which is education, and there was the school lunches or something. Clean water is one that helps in the future, one that's established that benefits then for generations. The pig and the goat is probably more of an immediate effect. Bees and veggies is more of an immediate effect. Chicken is more of an immediate effect. The school lunches, as best as I still get, it's good to have waiting for something to happen, and the school lunches, and saving over the school lunches. Our lunch for learners is the first one. Encourages kids to go to school and get an education and be more able to get a better job when they leave school. More equipped. Okay, so spin that over, and I'm going to look at the toilet. $500 for a lavatory, a dunny, water closet, or a john. That's a dunny. I don't know if people still call them dunnies, they probably do. In Australia, it's a bit of an Australian term, I think. By any name, the humble loo has a big impact on our health. The Better World gift provides training to build a toilet for families. The toilet translates to sanitation and disease prevention and make communities safer for women and children too, which is a good one for the future. This is refugees, $1,500 for emergency shelter. Let's see what that is. Refuge in times of trouble. When disaster hits, recovery efforts can only begin once a family has a shelter to call home. Oops. What I'm doing is I'm reading from here straight, but I've got to make sure that stays on the page on my little screen, because with all the lines it's much easier to read this than up here on my, there it is there, yeah, there it is there, up here on the little screen. Okay, where else up to? Your Better World gift delivers a temporary shelter to wherever it's needed most, providing emergency relief to families who have lost their homes and belongings, giving them a safe place to sleep. Okay, and okay, that's the end of the booklet. Okay, honest view. You get an advent calendar for $15. So, during the giving season, as you count down to Christmas, begin each day as a family with a thought on generosity and thankfulness. Oh, that's your advent calendar, so no chocolates each day. This one's got a nice quote, I think. Yep. Conversation cards, okay, for $29.95. Questions to help you wrestle with faith, poverty, life and relationships, updated for $20.25. Okay, we should say $20.26, I suppose. And then, maybe it's updated last year. This journal gives prompts and questions to help you take notes. Sermon journal. Okay. So, conversation cards. Wrestle with faith, poverty, life and relationships. Yeah. These little conversation cards I used to perhaps funny, perhaps rude, but otherwise, and then he started doing it as well. He'd write down a few things as well. Anyway, it worked for us. Things I had to tell him, and then I'd tell him, I've got to tell you this, this and this, and then tell him about it all. And then when I could get back into talking rubbish, this sort of stuff. We used to actually sometimes have a coffee. There was a coffee shop on level 3 in Westville, Parramatta, and there was a shop right opposite, which was probably called Just Jeans, maybe, or one of those Jeans West might have been. I can't remember now. Anyway, there was where I'm going with this story. The fellow worked in there was on Australian Idol, or Australian Idol, I think, and he did really quite well. Perhaps top 10. But after all that was over, he must have got a record deal, or he decided to go back to his old life, and here he is to see him working in Jeans West, I think, in Westport, Parramatta. I'm going to say his name was Tay, I think, or T-H-E. What I'll do is I'll Google it, and I'll write his name there. He's probably not working there now though, that was a while ago. I'll write his name down there. So yeah, it was always sort of, I suppose, cool to see him. Not everybody. We didn't really care that he hadn't made it in singing. We thought to ourselves, well, I thought to myself anyway, that he'd given it a go.